Please don't tell anyone I asked you, she whispered, standing on my porch with her phone trembling in both hands. I need you to take my dating photos. I laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Then she looked straight into my eyes and added, and if the pictures turn out well, forget the app. Take me out. I remember the exact silence that followed, because somewhere between her nervous smile and the rain beginning to fall, I realized this wasn't really about a dating profile. It was about a woman who had forgotten what it felt like to be seen. Her name was Clara, and she had lived next door for almost 3 years. We had exchanged polite greetings, borrowed packages, and once, during a winter power outage, shared a flashlight in the hallway. But we had never truly talked. Clara was the kind of person who made herself small without realizing it. She worked at a community library, carried groceries with both arms even when the bags were too heavy, and always seemed to apologize whenever someone else bumped into her. I was Daniel, a freelance photographer who spent most evenings editing portraits at my kitchen table. I knew how to make strangers look confident through a camera lens. I just never imagined Clara would ask me to do the same for her. Before we begin, if you enjoy emotional and inspiring stories like this, make sure to support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories of kindness, hope, and humanity. Clara held out her phone. The app says I need 6 photos. 6. Apparently 3 make me look lonely, 4 make me look desperate, and 5 make me look like I'm trying too hard. I smiled. Who writes these rules? People who have never met me. That answer changed the mood completely. I took my camera from the apartment, and we walked to the small botanical garden behind our building. It was late afternoon, bright but soft, with children running near the fountain and elderly couples sitting beneath the trees. Clara had chosen a blue dress, simple white shoes, and a scarf she kept touching whenever she got nervous. Stand naturally, I said. This is natural. You're holding your hands like you're waiting for a court verdict. She laughed, and I raised the camera. Click. For the first time, Clara looked directly at me instead of the lens. Her expression was surprised, almost embarrassed. What? She asked. That was the best one. I wasn't posing. Exactly. We took dozens more. She smiled at a passing dog. She laughed when a child ran through the background. She talked about books she loved, her terrible cooking, and the fact that she had once tried to grow tomatoes on her balcony and produced exactly 1 tomato, which she described as emotionally significant but agriculturally disappointing. By sunset, she seemed different. The next morning, I printed 6 photographs and knocked on her door. She opened it wearing pajamas and holding a mug. You're early. I wanted you to see these before you uploaded anything. She spread the photographs across her table. Her fingers stopped on the first one. That's me. Yes. I look happy. She shook her head slowly. Alive. I didn't know what to say. Then her phone buzzed. She looked at the screen, and the smile disappeared. Everything okay? It's the app. She turned the phone toward me. There were several messages from men, some polite, some crude, some immediately asking questions that made her uncomfortable. I knew this would happen, she whispered. You don't have to use it. But I told myself I should try. Try what? She stared at the photograph again. Being wanted. The words landed harder than I expected. I sat across from her. Clara, you don't need an app to prove you're worth wanting. She looked up. You really believe that? I know it. She smiled faintly. Then take me out. I thought she was teasing. She wasn't. 1 coffee, she said. No app. No profile. No pretending. Just 2 neighbors. I agreed. Our first date was at a tiny cafe 6 blocks away. Clara arrived 10 minutes early. I arrived 5 minutes early. We spent the first 15 minutes talking about anything except dating. Then she asked, "Why are you single?" Because I photograph people for a living. That's not an answer. It's an answer I give when I don't want to explain. She waited. I finally told her about my previous relationship. My girlfriend had left 2 years earlier after accepting a job across the country. There had been no betrayal, no dramatic fight. Just distance, silence, and eventually two strangers who once knew everything about each other. Clara listened carefully. My husband died 4 years ago, she said. I knew she had been married, but I had never asked. Cancer, she continued. For months, everyone told me I was strong. I hated that word. Why? Because people say you're strong when they don't know how to help you. I lowered my eyes. She stirred her coffee. I wasn't looking for another husband, she said. I just wanted one person to look at me and not see a widow. That became the sentence I remembered most. Over the next few weeks, we kept meeting. Sometimes for coffee, sometimes for walks, sometimes just on the steps outside our building after work. Nothing was rushed. We learned each other slowly. Clara discovered I hated olives. I discovered she secretly loved terrible action movies. She teased me for taking photographs of food before eating it. I teased her because every plant she owned looked like it was preparing for retirement. Then, one Friday evening, she asked me to take another set of photographs. Why? I got invited somewhere. By someone. She nodded. Where? A charity dinner at the library. That's not a date. I know. She paused. But I want to look beautiful anyway. I photographed her in a green dress. When I lowered the camera, she looked nervous. What if people stare? Let them. What if they judge me? Then they'll be wrong. She smiled. At the dinner, something unexpected happened. Clara was approached by a man named Marcus, an old acquaintance from her husband's workplace. He was charming, confident, and immediately interested in her. I watched them talk from across the room. For reasons I didn't understand, my chest tightened. Later, Clara found me outside. You disappeared. I needed air. She studied my face. You're jealous. I'm not. You are terrible at lying. I laughed despite myself. Marcus had asked her out. I told him I'd think about it, she said. And will you? She looked toward the glowing windows of the library. I don't know. Then she turned to me. But I know who I hoped would ask first. I couldn't speak. She stepped closer. Daniel, when I asked you to take those dating photos, I thought I needed someone to make me look attractive. What I really needed was someone who could remind me that I still existed. My voice came out quietly. You never stopped existing. She smiled, and this time there was no nervousness. Then stop taking pictures of me. Why? Because I'm tired of standing on the other side of your camera. She took my hand. Take me out. So I did. Not because a dating app matched us. Not because a photograph convinced us. Not because either of us needed to fill an empty space. I took her to the same botanical garden where we had taken those first pictures. We walked past the fountain, laughing about the terrible tomato story. Near the old oak tree, Clara stopped. Do you remember the first photograph? Yes. You said I looked happy. You did. She looked at me. I was happy. I realized then that the photograph had never captured the moment. It had only revealed what was already there, waiting for someone to notice. The change between them was not immediate, and that was what made it real. Clara still had mornings when she stared at her phone too long, wondering whether she should return to the dating app. Daniel still had evenings when he doubted whether he was ready to care for someone again. Neither pretended those fears had disappeared. Instead, they began telling the truth about them. One Saturday, Clara found Daniel sitting on the building steps with an unopened letter. Bad news, she asked. He handed it to her. A gallery in another city had accepted his photographs for a 6-month exhibition. That's wonderful, she said. It's 3 hours away. Her smile faded. When would you leave? Next month. Clara folded the letter carefully. You should go. I know. Then why do you look like someone died? Because I finally found something I don't want to lose. She sat beside him. Daniel, don't make me the reason you stay. I'm not. Good. She nudged his shoulder. Then don't make distance an excuse to leave. For the first time, they